Hello everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today I have a review video for you guys. As a quick disclaimer, I received these items for free in exchange for my honest opinion. So let's go ahead and get started. The item that I'm going to be reviewing today is the Art & Fly black fine line pens, also known as like fine liners, outlining pens, etc. The packaging is nothing special, it's just a plastic package. There's no like information on the back side, and it's easily disposable. I personally keep them inside unless I'm putting them elsewhere. For this particular one, I'm keeping it inside the packaging. So this pack comes with 6 black fine line pens, and they come in the sizes 0.05, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.8. These pens retail for about $9.99 on their website, and I'll link it down below if you're interested. I think that's a pretty reasonable price for the pens, especially for a set. I know sometimes pens can be more expensive, but there's also sets that are less expensive. Compared to what I used to do, which was buy the Micron pens individually at Michael's, it was about $3 each, so you can imagine how expensive that could get if I wanted to get multiple. However, I did find that on Amazon they are selling a set similar to this from Micron that is 6 something, but the only catch is that it's an add-on item, which means you have to buy $25 worth of stuff. So I'm not sure if that would be a deal for you guys or not, just putting it out there. But for these pens specifically, I think that they're a pretty good price compared to other brands. Now at the top of the page I did a little swatch test just to see the different sizes. Before this set that I got, I actually never seen a 0.2 size, so I've always used either a 0.05, a 1, or a 3, and when I saw 2 I was like freaking out because I was like, now I can have a size between 3 and 1, because sometimes 3 is too thick and sometimes 1's too thin. So I thought that was great. The only other sets that I gotten before had 0.05, 1, 3, 5, 8, and a brush tip, so they never had any other in-betweens. But now I guess more companies are coming out with them. So the first thing I want to point out is that the color for these pens is more on the gray side. It's not super extreme black, but it's also not like light gray. So it's kind of near the dark gray side. You're not going to get a true black unless I guess you keep layering it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I actually don't mind it because it kind of gives a softer texture, softer look to the picture instead of a harsh black line. Now I did 2 swatches. One side was a wet swatch and one side was a dry swatch. On the wet side, after I used the pen, I immediately swiped it with a marker. Now on the dry side, I waited for like less than a minute and then I swiped it with a marker. For the pens or the markers that I used, they are Prismacolor in PM25, Mapixi in G21, Copic in YG03, and Art & Fly's own brand in 59GY. So if you just want to know which markers I was using, those are the only ones that I have, so I can't swatch any other ones like touch markers and stuff. But I just wanted to see if there was a difference between the varieties, and I tried to match the colors as close as I could, but some of them are not as close as they could be. But they're in the light greenish range. Now with the wet side, all of them smeared. Of course, this is immediately after I laid down the pen. Like right after I swatched it, I had the marker ready, open in my other hand, and I swatched it immediately. So they all smeared. Of course, this happens with my other markers, my other pens too, so I wasn't surprised. Now the dry side, I actually waited less than a minute for it to dry. After I wrote down all the squiggles on the dry side, which didn't take very long, I just went over it in marker, and none of it smeared in any of the brands, so I thought that was really successful and actually pretty surprising. In my first drawing for my sketchbook tour in January, I actually used watercolor, and I used these pens with it, and the pen did not bleed at all. Like, it stayed put, even with the watercolor, and it was multiple layers of watercolor, not just like one wash. So I was very shocked at that. Of course, if you want the dark black line, it's not going to give you that, but it will give you a softer, dark gray kind of look. So for the drawing that I have today, I just wanted to use the pens to show off kind of their features, the highlights and lowlights. So from what I've seen and from what I've learned after using them in an ink drawing only, I found that if you layer a lot of it, like say for the hair that I do a lot of layering in the creases and the parts that could be darker in the shadows. You layer it, it makes a really dark black. So I can't say that it's only dark gray. It will be black, but I found that usually happens after layering it quite a bit. So if you don't mind layering, this is perfect. I actually found it pretty fun. And it's nice building up some gradual gradation because you can start off with a dark gray and then grade it to a black. Overall, I think these pens are a great product. I like how easy it was to use. I like the range in pen sizes. I like how you can layer the product and get a darker color, so the blackness of the pen actually increases the more you layer. And I also like how affordable it is. For the amount of pens that I'm getting, I feel like it's pretty worth it. So that's my review. Also, even though I use these pens quite a lot in the hair of this mermaid, they didn't seem dry at all. Like nothing seemed to be depleted as much. So I guess they have a lot of ink in them, which is good to know because I was kind of scared when I did all the hair. I was like, oh no, I don't have enough pen for the hair. But it turned out alright. So with that, that is my review for these pens. Thank you Art and Fly for sending them to me. I actually really like them and I'll be using them more in the future. And thank you guys for joining me today and listening to my review. I hope you guys will go ahead and check it out. I'll leave a link down below if you guys are curious to learn more about them or just see what they are in the company. Art and Fly is a small company, so they don't have a lot of exposure. So all the links will be down below. Thanks so much again for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!